And we're back on Barred Up. So anyway, we were finishing up that top 5 discussion, and I got into like how the young people that I interact with don't necessarily hold Tupac to that high esteem, and I think maybe it's just because they lack the context of his impact and what he meant when he first came around.
Yeah,
they weren't like with him necessarily on that journey when that music was releasing. You know, they weren't in the world at the time when to catch proper context. But I feel Pac still go hard. There's a lot of songs you can put on right now. I mean, even California Love.
Yeah.
Or How Do You Want It or any shit. The hits, definitely. But even the B-sides and whatnot, like how we saw with Kendrick's new album. He took a Tupac B-side
and then,
and flipped it onto the reincarnated song. But that good top 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was going to say quickly, I love when sometimes you'll get on like TikTok and they'll take a Tupac verse, but then they'll put it to a modern day beat. You know, like take an old artist and put it to a different beat. You know, I guess to me that does kind of show that timelessness, show that the person's rapping ability and whatnot, and how it would still sound good today. I know I keep introducing topics that I say they're for another time, but to me this is a topic for another time. I don't know if hip hop hurts itself or helps itself with how quickly production styles change, because with like rock music, for example. You know, we got a rock expert here, so you could tell me if you're tracking with me. The fundamentals of what make a rock song or like a rock instrumental and stuff, like let's say, I'm super simplifying, so let's say electric guitar. They stay relatively simple. Like they stay relatively similar over a long period of time. Hip hop, it's almost like, I've always called it the art form that catabolizes itself. It eats itself. Like it puts out something new, then it quickly... You know, like when we used to go to school, whether it be what you're wearing or what you listen to. Oh, you still on that? It's cool in hip hop to discard the thing that we were just on a day before.
They'll discard the subgenres that we pop up,
And when I literally think about from a production standpoint, the sounds, right? That, you know, such and such synthesizers or drum sounds or whatever they hit. I don't know why this song's coming to head right now, but Laffy Taffy.
Bro. Just listened to that last week, by the way. Just listened to that last week, by the way.
There's stuff in hip hop that when it's the biggest thing in the moment, but you hear it 5-10 years later, especially 20 years later, and you'll be like, what the hell were they on? You know what I'm saying? Like, because the sounds are so crazy, and I guess maybe part of it is because hip hop beats tend to sample almost anything. You know, they could be samples of almost anything. I think of Timbaland.
With those Indian samples?
Yeah, with the Indian samples. He used to do flutes. The Aaliyah song, Are You That
More
Somebody?
Than a Woman.
He sampled a baby noises.
Bro.
You know, so yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah.
Timbo is one of my favorite producers. I always, because I produce, so there's a Timbaland story that it's an interview he had, and essentially, and you could hear it in his beats.
Yeah.
He had a sampler as a kid, and you can only sample 1 second of a sample. So that's why when you listen to those 90s Timbaland beats, it's all stabs. If you and stabs is, you know, when you
very staccato.
Staccato, and like all the beats are stabs. My favorite one is the Genuine, the pony beat, because it's just blah blah blah. Blur, 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 blur. Like you can, I can just picture him in the studio just coming up with that. But that's his style, and it's him purely because of the limitations he had with his equipment as a kid.
Right.
You know, I love that era, by the way, too.
Yeah.
You know, I have another question before we get into the main topic, but do you want to skip right into the main topic?
Just ask your question. I guess.
Do you have a regional preference?
A regional preference?
Yeah. On any given day, you're throwing this coast on.
Go ahead.
I would say I don't have one, but I feel like a lot of people now, like, that was kind of more of a 90s thing because people sort of, it was like a regional sound. Mm-hmm. You know, now, like, anybody can try to sound like anything, so I don't know if, but that was just my thought when I heard that, but anyways.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with you as well because where I was going with that is regionality to me is coming back.
Yeah.
And I think people are finding ways to differentiate themselves from other rappers, and one thing is to embrace where you from. Yeah. And embrace the sounds that people heard when they were growing up and shit. So, but definitely for the longest time now, I'd say maybe like since the 2010s, everybody has just been grabbing a Metro beat, or they was grabbing a Lex Luger beat, or they was grabbing a Mike Will beat, and everybody sounded like they're from Atlanta.
Right.
Essentially, they even take each other's language and lingo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because when I was growing up in Dallas, we didn't call police 12 or nothing like that. We would say little country shit like Johnny Law or something.
5-0.
Or the Laws.
5-0 was big.
Or 5-0 or something like that. But now everybody like they eat each other's dialect and everybody sounds the same. But regionality for me is coming back, and my preference I guess is it's between like the South, maybe the West Coast,
right,
which is like fucking damn near the whole country. So like, but I think there are so many commonalities between the two. I really can't decide. But
I got you. Mine would be this. If I had to pick one, it would be the South.
Oh shit!
I don't think I have one, but if I had to pick one, it would be the South. But when I really think about myself, like my day to day, it's probably just the mood I'm in. You know, so if I'm like more upbeat or going to the gym or stuff like that, something with more energy to it, it's going to be mostly Southern stuff, maybe some West Coast. But if I'm in more like a mellow, because I like the more like mellow, chill, boom bap sound, or the
J. Cole's of the world.
Exactly. Yeah. So and I'm a very introspective person personally. So so it probably just depends on the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, I'm always in like a weekly mood.
Right.
So like this week I'll be listening to like rock for some reason, but then the next week I'll be listening to just Lupe all week.
Yeah, Lupe. Like that. Yep.
Yeah. All right. I liked it because I was, for some reason, the way my boy was describing you, I was like, I think my man has an East Coast bias over here.
Oh, you thought I had one?
Yeah. Or should I say a North bias?
A North bias. That cold North bias.
Cold wintry North.
Yeah.
That leads us into our main event.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to go with recent events first because I want to hear your fresh thoughts. Just think about this Kendrick album, man.
I think it's really, really good, but I also think it's really niche. I think if you ask, I think it's really niche. I think if you ask a Kendrick fan what they think about the album, it's going to be to the moon. Like it's a very loved album is the reception I'm hearing so far. Shout out to my homeboy Terrence, one of my older roommates. He's a big Kendrick fan. So I think it's very niche. And the reason I say that is because after Not Like Us, like the success, the mega hit success that he had with Not Like Us, I was actually debating in my head. I was like, man, when Kendrick finally puts out an album, I wonder if he's going to go more dance, radio friendly, whatever, and just continue to capitalize on the moment commercially, or if he's going to go just more into what Kendrick does.
Watch the party die.
Yeah, introspective, watch the party die, this and that. So I've heard GNX, the album, it's been out for roughly 24 hours, a day and a half now. My main setting of hearing it, because I think that's very important, is I mainly heard it at the gym yesterday for about 2.5 hours. And I guess maybe just because of the mode I was in, I was mainly looking for the energetic stuff.
Did you listen to it twice or like
I've listened to it. I listened to it.
I mean, at the gym, like.
I listened to it straight through at the gym probably two or three times. Overall, I've listened to it probably roughly 5 times. But by the fifth time now, I'm probably just repeating more so the songs that I've picked out that I like. Right. Which I can quickly say, Whacked Out Murals is my favorite song. Which to me kind of makes sense with hearing it at the gym. It's a very aggressive, brooding, this and that. So I don't think he, which I'll pass the mic to you back on this because you said something earlier about how digestible the album will be. I don't think he really chased commercial. He didn't do Not Like Us all over again. Right. Except for maybe one song. I want to say Squabble Up.
You think Squabble Up?
I want to say that's it. I could be getting the titles mixed up, but that's the one that it's very kind of upbeat call and response. Yeah. Hold up, wait a minute. Sounds very much like OVO, that type of stuff. A little bit. Yeah. So we can go all over the place, but I won't get into GNX too much. But I think it's niche. I think if you ask a Kendrick fan what they think about it, it'll be way up there. I think if you ask your casual listener, because Not Like Us had a lot of casual radio listeners, right, bumping and dancing to Kendrick. I don't think a lot of those same people who were two-stepping to dissing Drake will really receive this album. I don't think, but I could be wrong.
What's funny is I believe it's the opposite. So my view is, I think this is his most commercially, digestible album. I think this is gonna catch the layman. You know what I mean? Like this, in my opinion, I think Kendrick fans, although they love this album, right? Like you said, it's a niche. It's something that people have wanted from Kendrick for a long time because they know he's silly and goofy, and his pen is actually behind a couple other hits that are like silly and goofy and shit like that. And people wanted to see that side of him. So, like, I think people appreciate that aspect about it as far as Kendrick's fan base. But most of Kendrick fans, in my opinion, I think they wanted something more of like a Damn a part 2.
Yeah, because I was gonna bring up Damn and say to me, Damn was his most commercially digestible album. Not counting this one. I think maybe for me, maybe it's too early to really digest and grade this one yet. But before this one, Damn to me was his most commercial one, and most everything he does. Damn, Good Kid, Mad City, I'll put those in their own category. Everything else though, To Pimp a Butterfly, Untitled, all that stuff. He does very niche stuff. He just does what he wants to do, which I can respect that.
I can respect that too.
Yeah,
I can respect that, and I would agree that Damn to me is his most commercially acceptable album.
Loyalty with Rihanna.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, those type of songs.
The Mike Will song I think was on there.
Yep.
The Pharrell song was on there. All Right was on there I think.
All Right.
We gonna be.
It's
all
either gonna
right.
be on Damn or that's on To Pimp a Butterfly, but it's in that same era.
Yeah, in the era. Yeah. So I think so. Like I was saying, I think his fans. I think although we appreciate the album and we love the album, and I think it's gonna hit the mainstream listener more because there's some shit on here that could be hit records.
I was gonna say, what's your early call on what you think would be a radio hit? Because that's what I was struggling to find. But if I had to call one, it's gonna be Squabble Up. But what do you think is gonna be the radio?
I think it'd be Squabble Up. Yeah. I think it would be TV Off. Okay. TV Off is gonna go stupid at the Super Bowl.
Okay. Especially is that Mustard?
That's the Mustard.
Yeah, okay. That one's already. I saw McDonald's had McDonald's official Twitter page. They tweeted their honey mustard. And it says honey mustard on the honey mustard packet. So it's already getting commercialized. Cage is shaking his head like, I can't believe it. Commercialization disgusts him.
Already, he's sold out. It's already blowing up. Yeah. People are blowing that one up. I like the songs with SZA. I think the Luther song is going to blow up. Yeah. You know, he made another Cool Girl song. Right. And I think those will smash. Not smash. Excuse me, hit. But I think those would hit.
I guess, okay, so for me, just to give a controversial opinion, not controversial, but just like a strong opinion, nothing on this new album to me sounds bigger than Not Like Us.
That's not controversial.
And that's always a hard thing to do when you have a smash hit. What do you do next? You know, how do you follow it up?
You try not to chase it, I think. Because I don't think anything on this sounds like Not Like Us. Yeah. Like, to me, I mean, just because you have mustard beats don't necessarily mean you're going to get that same vibe or that same feel. Yeah. And as far as dissing goes, folks, he not really dissing. I hear a few subs here and there, but they're more playful. I mean, he did say something about Lil Wayne directly, but that wasn't a diss to me.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard diss, no. Yeah, it wasn't.
No, it was more like a, I let him down because I'm going hard right now.
Yeah.
There was a sub at Drake in one of those songs. I forgot, and it was like, shoot at him. Oh, but he got kids with him. Like something.
Wow.
I was like, man, this guy, boy.
He says that on the new album?
Yeah, it's one of the songs. It's a little sub. I forgot what song it was. It might have been on TV Off or something.
That's messed up. That's a messed up double entendre. Like he's right, like as if he's like watching kids, but then also, okay, I get it. The PDF file, I got it.
So overall, I think this is. I can predict this will be a commercially successful album because he really. I mean, he says it on the first song. Fuck the double entendres. I want y'all to feel this. So he's not rippity rapping on this, in my opinion. Right. He's still rapping though. Yeah. But very commercial, gangster songs. Right. By the way, my favorite. We didn't do the favorite genre. It don't matter, but my favorite genre is gangster rap. Oh, okay. And I don't know why. I think as a kid I was just listening to Master P too much.
Yeah, like you said, like Eazy-E and all that kind
stuff like that. But it don't have to be ignorant. Like I like Scarface and people like that. I think Kendrick can be categorized as a gangster rapper a little bit. In my opinion, he tells gangster stories, just like Scarface would. Scarface wasn't no tough rapper. Yeah, but he considered gangster rap. Right. But let's talk about the beef.
Let's talk about the beef. Cage, were you about to say something before we get into the beef? You good? All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
How do we want to start? Well, we can start off. I will say quickly for the record, I'm a Drake stan. Yeah. I'll be honest enough to say that. But I really love Kendrick Lamar. So it's a weird dichotomy. So, yeah, but we can get into it. So, but if I had to pick, not if I had to pick a side, I did pick a side in the beef. I was on the Drake side. And Drake got whooped. But I'll debate certain things within the beef. So go ahead. Yeah, you could.
What's up for debate for you? What do you think? As far as how the beef went, the perception, the vibes.
Okay. The biggest thing I could say about the beef for me is I feel like Kendrick wants the accolades of he wants the accolades and the reverence and the respect of I'm the biggest, I'm the best, I'm the greatest all time. Kendrick's the measuring stick in his head is Tupac, who we view as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. Right. I think he wants the accolades of a pop. Drake, for keeping it simple, is a hip hop artist, but he's a pop hip hop artist.
Yes.
He's very much a pop hip hop artist. And I always felt weird about Kendrick throughout this beef, because I'm like, man, you're the subconscious intellectual underground guy who did make it really, really, really big. And even you just mentioned, you said he was a gangster rapper. Even that, I get why you're saying that, but that rep mainly comes from Good Kid, Mad City. And even on Good Kid, Mad City, his position was, I'm the kind of introspective, introverted kid who
trapped in this situation,
raised around all this crazy stuff, right? Which I think that story is probably true for a lot of black people. It's like, we love to, whether it be like hip hop, basketball, whatever, we love to say, oh, we're hard, we're from the streets or whatever. A lot of us aren't from the streets. A lot of us grew up in the suburbs. You know, we were just exposed to certain things, you know, but half of us were only exposed to it through art.
Movies, television.
Yeah. So I feel like Kendrick has always played different sides, and I don't say played like to disrespect him. I feel like he has always kind of dabbled into different almost identities. Like he's the Compton kid, which puts him in the gangster genre, but then he's the intellectual, introspective. Lupe Fiasco, like we named earlier, our top 5. Lupe Fiasco's in one of my top 5s, and I put Kendrick in he's like a second coming of Lupe Fiasco to me.
Okay.
Like a backpacker.
I can see that.
Yeah, a backpacker
who
with
still keep it gangster.
Still keep it gangster and still has the talent, enough talent and relatability to even go beyond mainstream.
Right.
You know? So I feel like he played a lot of sides. But anyways, the Drake beef to me, and I know I'm ranting here, so let's put it to the music. The Drake beef to me goes back to when Kendrick first started to blow up on the mainstream, when he was doing the mixtapes, but then Section 80 comes out, and then he now goes on tour with Drake. That was around the time they put out the song Buried Alive. Okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
I feel like Kendrick has always known that he has more rapping talent than Drake, but even from that moment that Drake took him on tour, it was clear Drake is getting more of the recognition. He's getting more of the mainstream radio recognition and pop, whatever, right?
More palatable.
Yeah. And the funny thing is Drake views himself, at least back then he did. I don't know how he views himself now. Back then, Drake viewed himself as an underground, true hip-hop, true hip-hop guy, idolizing guys like Joe Budden and whatnot.
And
Pusha T, the microphone.
Yeah,
but it's just that Drake got off so quickly. I mean, his first big song is The Best I Ever Had. He got off so quickly with the girl pop records that it put him in a certain lane.
Off the bat. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Then getting the cosign from Lil Wayne, who was the biggest at the time, it just put him on a rocket ship.
I agree.
And then he took Kendrick on tour at the beginning of that rocket ship. So to me, all of it boils down to the song Buried Alive, which is on Drake's album Take Care.
Yes.
I won't read all the lyrics, but I'll find the lyrics real quick. Well, actually, I don't even need to read them. I have them memorized. But he says, Kendrick Lamar talks about the first time he was on tour with Drake, but the first time they ever really sat down and he got perspective of how big Drake was in the rap game, and it made him question where he was, and it made him envious. This beef to me had a lot to do with envy.
Okay.
But I'll read the lyrics and I'll let you jump in. Okay. So this is in the middle of the song Buried Alive, which is off of Drake's album Take Care, but it's mainly Kendrick rapping. Kendrick features on there. He says, the same day we were in the area cruising in Toronto and he hit me on the cellular, I thought he was going to sell me a false word like the rappers I know. So we sat down with a few drinks located where you can't see us, fast forward past some stuff. He said this felt like the initiation. He felt like this meeting with Drake and Drake's producer and all that was his initiation to the big rap game. Okay. He says this was a reality, living in the matrix. We talked about the industry and how women are the tastemakers for the stuff that we're making. Okay. Then this is the key bar. Then he said he was the same age as me. Drake said he was the same age as Kendrick, which made me even more rude and impatient. So blame it on Mr. OVO XO, Drake. He's the reason I'm breathing on the vanity I know, and he goes into all this other stuff.
He's the reason what?
He says that he's the reason I'm breathing on the vanity, on all the vanity that I know. Drake being the same age as me and as successful as he is the reason I'm now being vain, right? And worried about the women and worried about being big and famous. he says I live a double. He defines it like a relationship. He says because now I live a double life, but I need to let this girl go. But he's being metaphorical,
right?
To say I live a double life. I'm the deep underground
introspective guy.
Yeah, I put out all these mixtapes because I didn't know until this beef, but Kendrick's been rapping for a super long time, like since the early 2000s. Yeah, before this beef, I thought Kendrick came in the late 2007, 8, 9.
He's one of those guys like Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
Like, he's been rapping forever and you wouldn't even know.
He's got a song with Joe Budden back in the day.
Yeah, he does. yeah, he does.
Joe Budden back in the day.
He's got a song with Brandon Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say quickly, I know I went on a long rant, but that's the song Buried Alive. Kendrick mentions having envy towards Drake in that song. That's within a year later is when the Control verse came out, which is more envious type stuff. And the reason I'm putting it as envy is because, again, Drake took Kendrick on his first big commercial tour.
Okay.
And I'm just sitting there like, man, and I'm a nice guy. I tend to be too nice in my life and all that stuff. But if I was blowing up and I took one of y'all on tour, I would hope you don't turn around and bite me. Go ahead. Sounds like I hit a sore spot.
No, the spot is not sore. No, continue. I see this narrative out there.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing that I think of when in regards to it. I don't think it's that deep.
Okay.
As far as him being envious, I'm not sure. I can see that point of view, but I think that was more so for that song.
Okay.
And it fit that verse that fit that particular interlude on that album.
Got it.
Do I think he was envious in real life? Perhaps in the beginning, you know what I mean? But I think as Kendrick maybe gained his own success, you know, it transitioned from envy to more of like I just don't like this guy for whatever reason. You know, whether it be the allegations or whether it be the way he goes about his dating choices as far as how manipulative he may seem to be, you know, to the layman on the outside. Right. But whatever it is, it's a personal issue with Kendrick. And I think it also goes back to Control, because like we were saying, the only person that really had a problem with that was Drake. He had an emotional type of response instead of like a hip hop all right, it's all in the love of the game type response. I think it probably the Drake side of this equation stems from that. Because I don't really see it as Kendrick being envious. I don't think in modern day he's envious of Drake at all. Okay. I mean, because in my opinion, Kendrick is a pop rapper as well.
He is. I'm so glad you said that. I have a whole theory about that, but I'm glad to hear somebody else say that.
I agree.
Because I told him that, and I don't know if he necessarily agreed with me. Yeah.
The man has a Disney soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's pop. That's as pop as you can get.
Yeah. All right. Oh, to me, man, it's just you got features with Taylor Swift, Imagine Dragons,
country
Maroon
music.
5. Like, you done songs with the whitest of white acts. I hate to say it, but you know what I mean?
People love K-Dot.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I think he's a pop act as well. Because when people bring up that whole like Drake versus Kendrick, the chip they give to Drake is he's more pop. And I think, well, maybe he sings more.
Right.
But as far as like hopping on popular artist songs and
there you go.
I think Kendrick.
To make moves for popularity's sake, you know. Yeah. Now, to give him like a little bit of a get out of jail free card, maybe these are decisions that his management team is making. Because funny enough, within the beef, one of the Drake songs, Drake kind of jabs at him and says, "Oh, Top," as in Top Dog made you do this. He made you do that. He made you get on this song and make a verse for the Swifties, you know? So maybe Kendrick's being made to do certain things that are pop decisions that he wouldn't necessarily want to do. But I want to bring up here now the whole, because Kendrick loves to talk about it. He's a Gemini. And the whole thing with Gemini and the zodiac signs, that you're bipolar.
Yes.
And that there's two different versions of you.
Yes.
And within, I think it's on Damn, he has a key interlude where he says, "I remember you was conflicted." I think it's on To Pimp a Butterfly. But anyways.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
I've always, even though I think he was talking about Tupac again with his Tupac obsession. But I've always applied that
obsession?
He's got a Tupac obsession.
What? What do you mean?
All right, well, we'll get there.
I'm playing dumb. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I saw a tweet today that says, Tupac walks in a room. Who's talking to him first, Jada Pinkett Smith or Kendrick?
Oh, they wrong, man. Oh, man.
But he's got that line, "I remember you was conflicted." And that's my personal feeling. Sticking with Kendrick before we get back to Drake is I've always felt like he's conflicted.
Okay.
And actually, okay, yeah. So this is my last I don't know if it's a hot take. This is my
Kendrick theory.
This is my last big take on the beef.
Okay.
This is my biggest take on the beef, so I'll put it as my last take, quote unquote. I felt like the beef was somewhat reminiscent of Nas and Jay-Z, because Nas is on paper skill wise a better rapper than Jay-Z. Right. Most people are bigger Jay-Z fans, but Nas raps better than Jay-Z, and he was doing it at a young age and all that kind of stuff. They had their beef and everything. The big benchmark of that beef is the song Ether.
Yep.
Right. Nas ethered him. It became a verb. Mm-hmm. But Jay-Z had the bigger commercial success, and still, now in hindsight, still went on to have the bigger commercial success career. Right.
Right.
I feel like, and even today on GNX, Kendrick really respects Nas, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. And Kendrick even quotes that on GNX now.
Shouts him out for the Super Bowl shout out.
So if I'm looking at Nas and Jay-Z, to me that beef, this Drake and Kendrick beef, Kendrick would be the Nas and Drake would be the Jay-Z as far as commercial success and being the biggest and blah 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 for a long period of time.
I'd agree.
You know?
Yeah.
But what I felt like Kendrick was doing within this beef, and again, I like to stay within the lyrics.
Yeah.
So this beef was kicked off on the song Like That.
Right.
Future, whatever. That's what really that's the fireworks that set it off.
Yes.
And the biggest line in that was, it's no big three, nigga.
It's just big me.
Right.
Bow.
Where Kendrick feels like, wait, I'm the biggest. Yeah. Great line, great song, everything. But Kendrick feels like,
great ad lib too.
Yeah, Kendrick feels like I'm the biggest. And again, for Nas and Jay-Z, I'm like, to me, it feels like Nas coming out and saying, I can rap better than you, but wait, you're not even the biggest. I'm bigger than you.
Right.
And the quote unquote backpacker within me, because again, I love Kendrick. I named the top 5 earlier.
I'm sorry, can you check it to the Nas point? You were saying like what's the correlation? That
Kendrick is the lyricist like Nas.
Kendrick is the more respected lyricist.
Yes,
and you're saying like Nas was saying he's bigger than Jay-Z?
To me, this beef would be like if Nas came out with the motivation that Nas wants Jay-Z's accolades, mainstream accolades.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because Jay-Z is the more celebrated artist, mainstream wise. And Kendrick says, no.
Do you know what was it? What was the Nas Jay-Z beef about? Was it over the girl?
I don't know what kicked it off, to be honest with you.
I know it was a girl involved because he was like saying, Jay-Z was saying he had Nas's girl.
Jay-Z had one of Nas's baby mamas, I think, before.
Of course.
That's what's kicked it off.
Of course.
Maybe something like that.
It always comes back to women, doesn't it?
Maybe something like that. Or just, who's the best. That's rap.
But that's the best metaphor I could put it. Imagine if Nas came out and says, no, Jay-Z, you're not the biggest. I'm bigger than you. Mm-hmm. But to me, the truth is it's not true. Chart-wise, Drake is bigger than Kendrick. Chart-wise, he is. He's bigger than Kendrick. Mm-hmm. He's ran the charts for over 10 years straight.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the easiest way I could summarize it. But where it challenges me as a Kendrick fan, like really listening to Kendrick's projects and stuff, it's part of Kendrick's brand is his authenticity. Again, that underground backpack. You're the true rapper's rapper. You're the true intellect. You're worried about what the Black Panthers got going on and things like that. You're worried about things that. I'm not dissing him. But wait, why are you laughing? I'm not dissing him. He's worried about conscious issues, social issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Why'd that make you laugh so much? Did it sound like a diss?
A little bit, a little shade.
Were you thinking the Black Israelites?
A little shade, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I wasn't shading.
A little hotel. Yeah.
He really is the conscious guy.
He is the conscious guy.
And you're going and pick and fight with the pop guy to say, well, I'm bigger than the pop guy.
I think. Are you looking literally into that line, "Big Me"?
But then things get conflated.
Okay.
Kendrick is a better rapper than Drake. To anyone who really listens, to me, that's not a question.
That's not a okay.
Kendrick's
my boy. I'm just saying. Good.
For the sake of keeping it simple, Kendrick's a better rapper than Drake.
Okay.
But the better rapper, again, if we look at the Nas's, the Lupe Fiascos, the Biggies. The better rappers don't always get more recognition. The better rappers don't always get more recognition than the bigger artists. I
would agree with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the way I could summarize without running in circles too much.
So Kendrick's the better artist, huh?
Yeah, because the thing I hated about this beef, especially considering that the nail in the coffin was Not Like Us, which is not a rappity rap song. It's a dance fun, like chant singing response.
Yeah,
it's got bars in it.
Yeah,
but the main coffin of Not Like Us is just how big of a smash it is, how fun it is.
Makes you move.
It doesn't matter if half the stuff he's saying is true or not true. We're gonna yell and shout it back.
Oh yeah.
It is on Like That. You came at an angle about how
you're the best rapper.
You're the best rapper. And actually, sorry, I skipped an important part of like that.
What?
J. Cole's really the one that was the impetus for like that.
I would think so. I would think it started with J. Cole.
Because on the song First Person Shooter, J. Cole's the one who calls them
the big three.
Right. Who's the best rapper? Me, Drake, K. Dot, or me?
Mm-hmm.
I say it's all of us. J. Cole's trying to be love, peace, and hair grease. I say it's all three of us.
Right.
and then Kendrick is like,
Blue match.
Nah.
Kendrick said nah.
Yeah. Nah. So to me that angle.
That's the spirit of hip hop, right?
Yes. Right, but I'm just saying you can't you can't kick off a beef about how much better of a rapper you are, and then win the beef off of being more pop than the guy who you're accusing of being very pop.
But I felt like that was like, did you ever see that freestyle battle where, what's his name? The main guy who freestyles, who's awesome.
Charlie Clips?
Yeah. Charlie Clips, or you talking about...
I'm a hustler.
Oh, Cassidy.
Cassidy. Yeah, Cassidy.
But he started doing the other dude's style.
Yeah. Right. I think I know what you're talking about.
Disaster or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like
flipped his
Middle
style.
Eastern dude. Yeah. He started doing. I felt like that's what that was. Like Kendrick was like, "I'm gonna body you with a banger that's like you're the banger king. I'm a pull."
But then what? And I'm stereotyping. But what y'all on the Kendrick side started doing was taking that as evidence to say, see, Kendrick can do the hit stuff better than Drake can, and he can't.
I don't know about better.
Kendrick can't do the radio hit stuff.
I don't know about better, but I would say if we could take it back to the beginning of the beef, I think it stemmed from Control, and I think it stemmed from Drake's response to Control. If we remember, they've been subbing each other for years since that, and it kind of started with Drake. Drake started subbing K. Dot first.
Which sub are you referring to?
Like the song with Game.
Around what time?
I think that was 2015. The song
after
with the
Control
Game.
Or before Control?
This was after Control.
Okay, yeah.
That's the song with the Game.
I would have all your conscious fans if I was
still rapping
yeah.
conscious. I would have all your fans or something like that. Or
wait, but you're right. But how is that Drake starting it? Because Control, the Game song is 2015.
Control is
2013.
When that started.
Control is 2013.
But they were subbing each other in interviews and shit. Drake had an interview where he was saying, "I just don't respect it."
I did see in the FD video. I don't know if you got to this point because I told you that
I
recommended him the FD video on the beef, and he didn't finish it. But
it's a good video.
He basically was talking about how Drake didn't respond to Control well, like how everybody either just like put out another freestyle saying like I'm the best or just said I'm the best, but like Drake kind of handled it worse than anybody.
That speaks to the whole Kendrick not like us theory. Like Drake isn't really a student of hip hop because if he really was, he wouldn't see it as a true
personal shot.
Fuck you. It's more of like this is about skill. This is the game.
But man, I feel like I see where you guys are coming from, but I feel like that's where us if we're trying to just black society, us as a black society, I feel like we play both sides with people who give emotional responses to things. Because again, the backdrop is of black culture is be hard, be street, like be a man, like be tough, like don't show emotion. That's the backdrop. But we do those things. We talked about Nelly earlier, Ja Rule. Even our music artists show emotion and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel like the mistake Drake made with a Control verse and a lot of this stuff is whatever Drake was feeling on the inside emotionally, he went on microphones and interviews and said it. Like as far as why did he diss me like that?
He's actually honest.
Yeah,
having
and the fact that he's a mixed, light skinned, kind of nerdy sounding.
People
think he's sassy.
Kind of questioning his cred.
Jewish guy. He looks corny. He's from a country with a lot of corny.
He's
stuff
from the suburbs.
You get what I'm saying? So it's stuff we all be feeling because Joe Budden, for example, will be the first one to tell you
that bagel video.
Joe Budden will be the first one to tell you, man, when Jay-Z put this out or when Fabulous put this out, Joe Budden will tell you what he was feeling.
Yeah.
He didn't go out in public, he say it. But all these guys have big egos and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kanye West is one I'll give credit to. He puts out his emotions and stuff like that.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if you...
Definitely wears them on
another FD video where he talked about in Drake's come up how important Kanye was
I watched that.
For just changing the way a rapper was perceived. And he even talked about when Kanye beat 50 Cent in that and on Graduation or whatever.
Yeah.
Album.
That was a crazy time.
That was kind of like a changing of the guard. And then the whole next generation of Childish Gambino, Tyler, Lupe, Kid Cudi.
That's
all
Wale, B.O.B. They all came from the Kanye
seed.
scene.
Okay, because I have one, I guess maybe kind of final question within this realm of Not Like Us and the Drake beef and stuff. let's just stay on the song "Not Like Us."
All right.
The hook. The hook's the biggest thing.
They not like us. Right.
Okay, Drake's not like us. Let's just get him out of here. Let's accept that.
Right.
But the song is a rallying national anthem because there's a whole lot of people who think they're not like us. There's a whole lot of people who think they're the us.
Yeah.
And whoever is being shoved to the side is the they. They're not like us.
Yeah, yeah.
What exactly?
You can anybody can plug themselves in.
Take me into it. What are we not being like? That we're not pedophiles? Yeah, most of us are not pedophiles. But in a cultural standpoint, what is it being like? But especially when you consider when the Pop Out, the concert happened.
Yeah.
And when you watch certain concert videos.
Yeah.
Guys, we've had very good conversations tonight. Don't lie to me. At least half of Kendrick fans are white kids. At least half.
Yeah, of course.
If not, maybe 70, 80%.
But
so you got
that's hip hop.
That's why you get to plug it in.
You got a bunch of white kids.
But those are Drake fans as well,
claiming this hardness and stuff like that.
Those white kids aren't pedophiles either.
I don't. The thing about this, I don't ever scrutinize a person's fan base for liking whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, white people have liked hip hop from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Right. They don't necessarily have to be from the soil to feel it.
They're a big part of why there's a hip hop industry.
But that's what I'm saying of Kendrick playing both sides. When Kendrick says lines like "I'm what the culture's feeling," on Twitter, you'll see all the black people say, "Yeah, we're really not feeling this." Kendrick's playing into what dislike black people might have for Drake.
I don't think that's true. Okay. A lot of black people like Drake. I think there's a certain subsection of people, not just black people, that don't like Drake for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say I don't like Drake, but I can say his music has never really latched on to me like that. Yeah. I really liked Best I Ever Had. Okay. That was the first Drake song. I was like, this nigga can rap. Right. I was like, this shit is amazing when I first heard it. And I heard a couple other songs, and I eventually heard his first few albums. But for me, it just never connected like that for whatever reason. I don't think he's super
like that.
You know, I don't think it's just because he's Canadian or he's super soft and nothing. It's just maybe his subject matter to me is not very relatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what was your question? Like, who is the us and not like us?
Yeah. What is that? Okay. The simpler question is, what does that line mean?
They're not like us.
What does that mean?
I think it's like maybe.
What are they doing?
I think it has several meanings.
And why are we so proud of it? What are we so proud of that we are? That
I think it has several meanings.
And that's the genius of it to me. But go ahead.
Right, because it could be seen as maybe a double or a triple entendre. Okay, so first of all, you have the obvious, the surface level. The PDF file allegations, the pedo allegations, cool. Okay. We put that to the side. We're not like that. Okay. Another thing is Kendrick is speaking to the authenticity of the culture and where he's from and the authority that he speaks from when he raps. Like when he rap about gangster shit, it's because probably he's seen some gangster shit, lived some gangster shit. When Drake raps about gangster shit, it's because he's rapping about being Tony Soprano. You know what I mean? Like he's or
somebody else is saying it.
And they're writing quick question. I'm following you, but quick question. Mm-hmm. For hip hop fans, a lot more of us are Drakes than we are Kendricks. A lot more of us are from the suburbs than we are from Compton.
Yeah, of course.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
because hip hop is so mainstream now that the main consumers of hip hop are going to be white people or suburban people or people of affluence. Or not even affluence, just middle class.
Also with the genius of, like, you can plug it in, like, when you say, like, they're not like us, like, Drake hasn't struggled like us, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Like, even if you weren't in Compton, like, ducking out from, like, shootouts and everything, like, a lot of us, quote unquote, that are hip hop fans can relate to some sort of struggle.
Relate to the
black people. We gotta stop faking, bro.
What do you mean? Like, what you mean,
baby? For the most part, us three, we spend a lot of time around like South Dallas, Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
For me, Duncanville, Cedar Hill, but Bishop Dunn, South Dallas. Mm-hmm. That's nothing like Compton, bro.
No,
that's nothing like Compton.
No, there are certain parts of Dallas.
Have any of y'all ever? Maybe you have, but me and my brother have never ducked a shootout. 2 out of 3 of us in this room have never ducked a shootout.
I mean, I've heard like bullets being shot like outside my house and stuff. That's
I mean that shit. Like that's normal.
Compton.
Yeah, but still, it's just like I mean, it like we can relate to some sort of urban experience that. Yeah, like you said, it's brilliant. It's brilliant in that it's vague. You plug in your own.
Because I went to private school, y'all went to a magnet school.
But
our magnet school is in like a terrible area.
At the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's alive, but my brother was shot about 6 times.
Oh wow, okay, yeah,
right up here.
Okay,
where you guys just turned in, that corner right there.
That's crazy.
So, you know what I mean? It's some of us out here. It's not as unrelatable.
Cut and dry.
Yeah, it's not as cut and dry. And when I think about big hip hop artists, and when people ever use that, like, well, look at the crowd, it's all white people. It's like, well, of course it's all white people. There's more white people in this country.
There's more people
with money,
with disposable income
that can afford the tickets. Like, that's what people say about Lupe, and I hate that. Of course, Lupe has more white fans. There's more white people, you know, that's into that type of music right now,
right?
Especially mainstream wise. You know what I mean? The us and not like us. That's what I thought. Okay, obviously we're not people who have kid touching fetishes. Right. We're not inauthentic.
Yeah.
We write our own rhymes.
Yeah.
We don't rely on other styles or hopping on into different genres, which is nothing wrong with that, but we don't fully poach other people's styles like that. That's not us.
Yeah.
We stay authentic to what we do. And I think that was the point of that song in particular. Like saying, like, this guy is not y'all. When he talk about his struggle, he ain't never had a struggle. When his music is maybe not relatable. And maybe that's why I don't like Drake. Like, it doesn't connect with me for some reason. I don't, you know, I can't say he can't rap. I think he's a great rapper.
Right.
Whether he's writing it or not.
Right.
I think he's a great rapper. One of the greatest, actually. Yeah. But I think that's what that means. They're not like us.
Yeah.
The beef as a whole, do you think it was unfair for Drake? People have been unfair to him?
I had a very hot debate about specifically just that. And I remember I set off one of my buddies, his name is Titus, when I told him that this was home field advantage for Kendrick. And my friend's like, what do you mean? Why do you say that? But
the U.S.?
By then we had already, not by then. This is before Not Like Us came out. So
okay.
Yeah. But this is while the beef was kicking off. I felt like it was home field advantage for Kendrick because they're both very calculated. But as we're learning, Kendrick is extremely calculated.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like it.
We didn't even get into it earlier, but it seems right now even GNX is not Kendrick's album. There's another album coming.
There is a theory that there's another album coming.
There's another album coming.
Yeah.
Does GNX mean something?
It's just a car,
it's based
model.
on the 1987 Buick Grand National. Yeah. There's only 400 and some made, and at the time it was like the fastest straight line car.
And he was born that year, so it's a car that's like kind of one of one made that year. They don't make them like that no more.
Drove him home from the hospital in that car.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Leave it to Kendrick. And then here's I hate to even say this. I'm like, golly.
So what, were his parents rich, or it wasn't like a super expensive car, just a super rare car?
No, it's not an expensive car.
Maybe not that GNX, but maybe a Buick, a Grand National.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
It's a classic car.
Gotcha.
Definitely a classic sports car.
So he's implying they don't make these classics like anymore, like how I made.
I'm very rare.
Yeah. Like I'm a GNX. Drake is a Ford Taurus.
And I'm black as hell. The blackest car ever to be released.
Yeah, it's a very black car. And then another crazy thing I heard too is because he put the thing out. GNX came out yesterday on November 22nd, which is when JFK got shot in the head.
Oh.
And Kendrick has the line, Drake, this is the biggest headshot of the year, that he took a headshot at Drake, like whatever.
I didn't think of that.
But anyway, you were saying
we
if
deviated.
you thought it was
unfair. Oh, I think it was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was unfair in a lot.
Tell me how.
I think it was unfair in a lot of fronts.
Let's do it.
Okay. I can come at this from a lot of angles. I'll come at this first from the emotional guy angle, I think, because again, like I think back to Cedar Hill High School, going to middle school, this and that. In the earlier years of my life, before I started playing football, I was bullied. Okay. And when I was bullied, you get bullied for. Back then, it wasn't like now. Anime is cool, right?
Yeah, back then it would.
When I was a kid, the anime kid, you get made fun of.
You talking white?
Pretty much anything now that's weird that in our generation you got roasted for.
That's what I'm saying.
Cool now.
Yeah, so
New Balances.
Yeah, so I just had a little different stuff, whether it be the clothes I was wearing because my mom couldn't afford anything beyond Payless at the time.
Mine too.
I'm from Africa. I'm into WWE wrestling. I'm into nerdy stuff. You know, it wasn't until I started playing football that I stopped getting bullied. So I think
got some meat on them bones.
I think yeah. Until I could fight. Until they were like, okay, maybe we can't pick on this guy. Until I got bigger. But no, I'm just saying where I think was unfair for Drake as an example is black people were very good at making someone the other when we want to get on their case. Like ostracizing a person when we want to get on their case. So,
all right, I agree.
Like one of the things that got talked about when I was a kid was, why you talk white? Why you speak white?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So speaking with a quote unquote, I wouldn't say I sounded educated as a kid, but I just didn't sound like I was from South Dallas.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because I was from another country.
Right.
And I did hang out with a lot of white kids at
you
first.
Have a Southern accent, or
you get what I'm saying?
Dallas, Oak Cliff.
No, I'm talking about.
Yeah. So there's a lot of elements like that I'm just like, oh yeah, Drake, you were gonna lose this one because there's a lot of things about Drake that easily make him the other. He's from Canada, another country.
Yeah.
He's half Jewish, white, which makes him another race.
He has white features, prominent white features.
Yeah. There's a whole theory that a big part of this beef was because, like, as far as Future and them are involved, not just Kendrick, but as far as Future and Rick Ross and some of these guys, that there was this distaste growing for Drake because he had just signed a $400 million deal straight with Lucian Grange, the owner of Universal.
Right, he gets a piece of everyone's catalog, supposedly.
And the music industry is really ran by a lot of Jewish people, which there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
And so certain things about him just gave him benefits that on top of him being a successful pop star, whatever personal relationships, things like that. So he just has too many factors. And then again, he's the soft, emotional guy who makes music for girls. Because Kendrick said, I don't like Drake when he acts tough. I like Drake when he's singing with the melodies. I don't like him when he acts tough.
Great line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great line, but I'm just saying like that's the stuff to me with black people where we're hypocrites because wait, we love Nelly when he was doing the girl melodies. We love Ja Rule when he was doing the girl melodies.
It was believable.
We love 50 Cent when he was doing 21 Questions. You get what I'm saying? But it's like we'll easily take something and turn it into like a weapon against you when given a different situation, we like that exact thing from somebody else.
I think because the reason we like that same exact thing from someone else is because that someone else is more authentic in our eyes. Like you say with Nelly or 50 Cent.
I agree, but how do y'all know?
It's like if Kanye West was trying to act tough, people would be like, that's off-brand. You know what I mean?
I was going to say real quickly, how we consume hip-hop is we make, not just hip-hop, music. Music is a very personal art form, I think. It plays a lot into like we'll gravitate towards stuff that we want to be part of our identity. That's the exact word I was going to use.
I can see that.
Identity. So like y'all, obviously you being my brother, and then you've talked about him a whole lot of times, and now even me hanging out with him. I have no qualms that y'all aren't authentic to who you are, and we literally jumped topics before we jumped on the microphone. We wrestling, rock music, TV shows, all that kind of stuff, you know. But how do we gauge the authenticity of a person that we don't know? We weren't in Compton with Kendrick.
No, we weren't.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know that stuff. Because, for example, and I'll shut up this little rant right here. For example, one of the critiques I've heard about Kendrick is he's about to do the Super Bowl now, which is one of the biggest stages you could be on is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, he was with the crowd that was against the Super Bowl when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling and for racial injustice against the NFL and people were abolishing the NFL. Mm-hmm. If Drake did that exact same thing, there are people who would ostracize Drake. If Drake stood against the NFL a few years ago and then Drake says, I'm performing in the Super Bowl this year, there are people who would get mad at him and say, see, I told y'all he was inauthentic.
But Drake's never been political, so it's like nobody can hold him to that standard, you know?
So what? Okay, so then what? So what do you say then about
your question
Kendrick
that you said before that, what makes you...
How do we know someone's
how do you know someone's authentic?
These are all entertainment.
That's a very good question.
I think
we only know these people from entertainment.
It's just like any other.
Even just like with politics, like why do some people come across as real versus other people? They just seem like what you're saying is a performance or like you're acting. You know, it's a very good question, and it's something I think that's intrinsic. That's more than I don't know. It's a very good question.
I just got a hot take. You guys are gonna hate. I just got a take. You guys are gonna hate. But no, let me let you go ahead and say what you're about to say.
You gotta get your take off. Man.
No. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say because this is gonna change the subject. Kind of. It's still within hip hop. It's about Tupac. But go ahead.
When the authenticity thing, I think it goes back to like why I don't like Drake. I said so for some reason I don't feel it. It's a relatability thing. Okay. It's just like with any other artist, people get an idea of who you are not only from your music but. Yeah. You know, your public life and your interviews and your and what you choose to do with your art. Right. You know, Kendrick has done a lot of backpacky things on the mainstream stage that Drake doesn't do, in my opinion.
Because how come Kendrick's not inauthentic when he does I'm agreeing with your point, but how come Kendrick's not inauthentic when he does the Bad Blood remix with Taylor Swift? Why is Kendrick Lamar performing with Taylor Swift? What does Kendrick Lamar have to gain from doing a teeny bopper song like Bad Blood?
Well, Tupac had a song with Madonna.
This is about to move me to my hot.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it's out of line for an artist to do a song with somebody from any genre.
Okay,
he's on there being himself, right?
Just for the sake of argument,
he sounded like
you guys are moving the goalposts.
How?
how is a Taylor Swift song authentic to being from Compton?
No. Here's the thing. Is he being authentic to himself on the song?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Is he hopping on the song just sounding completely different? Like, this ain't Kendrick. No, he's sounding like Kendrick. He's saying Kendrick stuff. It just happens to be on this big pop song.
Right.
I think that's like that's a difference in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, an artist can have a guest verse on any type of song as long as they're authentic to themselves. They don't come across as like
they're trying to ride some other wave or
they're
just doing this like just because it's the pop.
They're doing the MC Hammer on Death Row.
I agree with that, but to me, from a commercial business standpoint, that is exactly what they're doing. Doing the crossover record.
Yeah, it's a crossover record.
That's what's going to sell. Now, again, that might not have been Kendrick's choice. It could have been his manager's choice. It could have been whoever's choice, you know? But
I think it's Kendrick's choice. Have you heard the story about how he got on New Freezer by Rich the Kid?
I haven't. I know the song, but I haven't heard it.
He was like, Kendrick was in the next studio over. He came over. He was like, this
beat?
shit hard. Can I get on it? And he's like, yeah. He's like,
yeah. Yeah.
I think he does it with songs he likes and genuinely.
But that's just what I'm saying of like, but I want to move on in a second. That's what I'm saying of like, if Drake had a feature with Taylor Swift and Kendrick flipped that into a bar, and you doing songs with teeny girls, we would have taken that like one of the hardest bars, like we did.
Depends on what the context.
I'm just thinking
maybe
about
the context of the bar.
Crossovers, like you have like Run DMC and Aerosmith, you have like Sonic Youth and Chuck D.
Yeah,
like
they were themselves.
It's never been like an issue like the crossover. Like I don't have any respect for the artistry of Taylor Swift. You know, I've never really listened to her songs. I don't think I would like them, but it's not like a huge thing where I'm like, you lose all your.
People have always respected the crossover. I mean, think about ODB and that Mariah Carey song. Like, it's just about, do you sound like yourself? That's all, in my opinion.
Okay.
And with the Drake shit, he fails a lot at that.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like himself on a lot of these records, and that makes people question his authenticity.
Which is a great segue into my next point. This is a hot take, and I'm kind of doing this just to be polarizing and to be. I don't know if I fully believe this, but I just want to say,
Devil's advocate.
just to say something crazy. I have a theory that Drake is more like Tupac than Kendrick is like Tupac.
I'm gonna get a beer, man.
You need to take a break, but that's for the next episode. Because okay, so here we go. Hear me out. So Drake, I'm good. Drake is Tupac. There's more similarities to. They not like us. I love it. No, listen. So I'm just coming strictly from the authenticity and the when are you being your real self, when are you acting. Okay. This is the main angle I'm coming in.
Tupac was an actor.
Yes. So I'm a nerd with anything I'm into. Very much into hip hop. So I've done the deep dives, the documentaries. The last Tupac book I read was I Got Your Back, which was written by his bodyguard.
Okay.
Just a real, true, intimate insight into who was Tupac really as a person. But anyways, just keeping it simple for now. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's a Tupac interview when he was probably like 18. He was 18, 19. He's a teenager. He's got a little box cut.
I've seen it. He's at the school.
And this is this very artistic, esoteric, soft-spoken, good-looking young kid talking about his relationship with his mother. He's just getting into a lot of stuff that really exposes his like.
He's very De La Soul.
Yes, De La Soul, deep feeler side, right? So you fast forward through all the phases of Tupac, and then he gets into rap, and he blows up. He becomes the biggest thing and everything like that. He's the ladies' man. Tupac played a lot of sides.
Man, let's do it, man. I want to hear
Tupac played a lot of sides.
I want to hear it.
But specifically, I've heard over the years where people now have a theory that Tupac died playing the role of Bishop. Bishop is the guy that he played in the movie Juice.
Right.
Where Tupac's this. So you never seen Juice?
No, but okay.
You have seen it or you haven't seen
it?
I haven't.
I've heard of this theory.
Have you seen Juice?
I've seen Juice. Seen Juice many times.
He's a gangster in the movie.
But when you say he died,
okay.
like he was
he's not a gangster in the movie.
People say Tupac died in character. Because you have this kid from a performing arts school.
Are you one of these people?
For the sake of this podcast episode, I am.
For this thought experiment.
I am.
Okay.
Because you have this kid from the Northeast. He's from Baltimore / New York, Jersey.
/ the Bay.
Right. Who died screaming West Coast. But he's really from the East Coast. That's the first thing that hopefully the kids know now and all the TikToks and stuff. Tupac was not a born and bred West Coast guy.
I think most people can.
Like Kendrick Lamar is a born and bred West Coast guy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's not the big thing. The big thing is the night that Tupac Shakur got killed, it was really over stomping out a dude over a chain.
Yeah, Baby Lane.
Okay. And by that phase in his career, he was so deeply entrenched with Suge Knight and the Bloods, specifically the Mob Pirus. And a lot of the people who were really in that life, like there's a guy that does interviews all the time on Vlad. His name's Mob James. He's one of the Mob Pirus who was within the Tupac circle. A lot of the guys in that circle will tell you, no, he wasn't that guy. He's a super talented guy. He's the music artist. He's the breadwinner. They'll say a lot of great things about him, but he was not a gangster, quote unquote. He got on record and he was a gangster. And the night he got killed, such and such, fast forward the whole story, such and such, his people had snatched somebody else's chain. No, sorry, the Crips had snatched a chain from his people, from the Bloods. Mm-hmm. And then Tupac comes out of the Mike Tyson fight in the lobby and says, "That's the dude that snatched our chain. Let's go get him." Mm-hmm. So he's fully in that mode of, I'm a Mob Piru gang member. And it's like, the reality is, no, you're not. You have Mob Piru gang members around you. Like, imagine that. At that time, Tupac was $100 million entity. Why would $100 million business entity
Were they still making the movie, or did it just finish?
The movie was years before. So the movie came out
about 3 years before that.
He was still cosplaying.
There's people around him who say he really transformed from that time on.
Sure.
Almost cosplaying.
Ooh.
He transformed from that time on, really playing out this I'm a gang member role. And that is how he died.
But I mean, if you're in that, does it matter if you are really in it or if you're acting like it?
We moved away from the Drake thing. I want to hear y'all's take aside from the Drake thing. But I'm just saying, Tupac was a child actor.
Oh,
he was a child actor. Oh. He was. I'm speaking facts. I know it hurts. No. I'm speaking facts.
It doesn't hurt because here's the thing.
Go ahead.
You are speaking facts.
Yeah.
But there's one thing you're wrong about.
Okay.
And this is it.
Yeah.
You can be more than one thing. Tupac.
Unless you're Drake.
No. Drake can be more than one thing, but it's about how authentic it is. Tupac's mama was really into Black Panthers.
She was. Yeah.
Tupac's family was really followed by the FBI.
That's true. Yeah.
Tupac really grew up in horrible living conditions and poverty. He's seen it all.
Yeah.
Yes, Tupac was intellectual. He had a soft side. He had interest in Shakespeare.
Right.
He had interest in dancing. He loved acting. He wanted to write. He wrote scripts.
This sounds a lot like Teenage Drake.
He's an artist.
This little, aside from the Black Panther stuff you just said, the little subset you got into of the Shakespeare and the acting, and it sounds a lot like when you watch videos of Teenage Drake. This sounds like a lot.
But here's another thing about Tupac. Yeah. Tupac was always thugging. Always thugging. Tupac shot at the police.
Yep.
And beat the case. Tupac got his ass beat by police after he dropped his first single, or one of his first singles, Trapped, off Tupacalypse Now.
Yeah.
He got his ass beat by Oakland PD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tupac had a lot of people say a false rape charge put on him.
Right.
Tupac had a lot of street shit going on with him. He got shot in Brooklyn or New York or whatever.
Yeah.
Tupac had a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. Tupac was a wild boy. He had anger issues. A lot of people forget he died at 26. He was I wouldn't say a child, but your brain stops maturing at 25. So I think he was
young.
A fresh adult in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
he died in a hot-headed moment. Yeah.
He died in a hot-headed moment, and a lot of people don't know is that, and this is my take on Tupac, I think Tupac was as real and as authentic as you can get. As far as this,
you think I'm following you. You think even the Mob Piru, that's the main point I'm sticking. You think even that was authentic?
Yeah, because he was initiated into it, and I'm not talking about like on a super gang, really, some shit like that. I'm talking about
he came in like how Chris Brown came in. Chris Brown claims blood nowadays.
Yeah. I don't know how he got into that in particular.
And that was only after he became a mega pop star, got a lot of money, moved to California.
But here's the thing: Tupac never claimed. Yeah. Tupac never even said the word blood on any of the tracks.
Yeah. Wait, pause one second. What did you just say? What side comment did you just say?
I just said beat up Rihanna.
There's
his jumping in. Oh
we can get into that one episode, but there's a whole another alternative view on that. But the Tupac thing of being authentic, it's you can be all that.
So he was authentically all these different things.
Yeah, because
which I'm not mad at.
As a person personally, when you look into his history, like there's a website just completely dedicated to Tupac's life, and that man was involved with so much shit. He's seen so much shit. He went through so much shit that the everyday person went through. Being fatherless or thinking that this guy's your dad, and all of a sudden your real daddy shows up. Your mama on crack, but at the same time she's this great leader. And she's capable of so much more. Right. And, you know, he had a little sister. Like, people can relate to this. Tupac shot at the cops. Tupac shot at a lot of people, apparently. Yeah. He got into a lot of motherfucking fights. Yeah. He did a lot of checking in the rap industry. A lot of, you know, to me, he was authentic to himself, and he was the first rap megastar. Yeah. Not like MC Hammer. MC Hammer is successful. He had a TV show, all that, this and that.
Tupac was.
But to this day, the murals around the world. Right. People say it's Tupac and Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? That's true. If you're going to go anywhere, you know. So I think that when we come to authenticity, that's what we think about that. Even though he's an actor, he's a gangsta-ass nigga that act. He was getting into fights on the set.
Acting like himself.
Yeah. He was acting like he was getting into fights with the Hughes brothers and shit. Like, he was that guy.
That to me, now we've gotten so far into this. I just want to remind y'all of my original premise. My original premise was basically Drake has more in common with Tupac than Kendrick does.
Well, okay, so why do you think that?
You're right. That's what I want to get back to. Especially on your premise that you could authentically be different things. So people discredit Drake's blackness. Drake has talked about that, and to some degree, this played into the beef a little bit. Drake's authenticity as us. The us is mainly for black people.
Now, why do you think that?
Okay, so Drake is born in Canada, mainly raised by his mom, who's a white Jewish woman. Okay? Yeah. But the same way you just said Tupac was this, and this, but his parents really were this. Yeah. Drake's dad is Dennis Graham. Mm-hmm. His brother was a bass guitar player for, I'm now forgetting it, but I want to say
it's one of these,
either the Temptations or one of those.
Yeah.
Drake's main exposure to black American culture and what he calls his quote-unquote black American dad story, is that his dad was from Memphis, and that Drake spent his summers in Memphis going to visit his dad, and the way he got into hip-hop is his dad would then take him to visit one of the dad's friends was incarcerated. And that Drake's dad would take him to visit that dude, and that dude would rap to Drake over the prison phone, like the prison glass, like whatever. Okay. And that's so the two main ways Drake first got into music is those prison visits, that dude rapping, and his uncle being a bass guitar player for one of the biggest black music groups ever. And his dad was a singer too, but his dad wasn't as successful as the dad's brother.
So he was a fan.
He a fan. He was
a fan.
But see, but this is what I'm saying. So. Like
why is what about that?
Why?
What do you mean? Not enough.
Why do we credit authenticity to like a person like Tupac's Black Panther-ness, a person like Kendrick's Compton-ness? When we hear their life story and really take that, people don't give credit to Drake's true true soul Black American roots.
I don't think it's that, bro. I think people just don't see him as his authentic self. They don't think he's being himself. Regardless of whatever record Kendrick is on, Kendrick is being Kendrick. Drake, he could be fucking Caribbean one day. He could be this, he could be that. Or the issue of people writing their own rhymes.
I have a quick theory about that. So if you ever get to visit Toronto, or if you ever get to visit London, two different places but very similar.
Yeah, Toronto it's an amalgamation of a lot of people.
Have a ton of Caribbeans. Yeah. And they literally do speak like, hey, all that kind of stuff, man's on road, all that stuff. They really speak like that in Toronto and in London. Mm-hmm. And so the same way we're saying Tupac grew up in Bay Area, but then also Baltimore, whatever, was exposed to a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. Drake was exposed to a lot of these different things. Mm-hmm. And then when we hear him making the dance hall songs and think that he just woke up one morning, he said, you know what, dance hall can make a lot of money. Let me go make a lot of money with that. Like some white Jewish capitalist. No, they play a bunch of they play a ton of dance hall where he grew up in Toronto. There's a heavy dance hall influence, vibes, calypso, all this kind of Vibes Cartel and calypso and all this stuff. There's a ton of Caribbean influence in Toronto. How is that him? How is the Jamaican Caribbean stuff specifically? Because that's one of the usual ones that people pick on him about. How is that him being inauthentic?
I think that's just the easiest one to grab.
That'd be like
accent flipping.
That'd be like people. What'd you say your childhood group was called?
Throw It Off Hustlers.
Throw It Off Hustlers. That'd be like people picking you up like, oh, Throw It Off Hustlers. Oh, he on some fake Atlanta shit. No, people were really doing that in Oak Cliff when we were kids. It didn't grow up. It didn't blow up.
I don't know if they were saying throw it off in Atlanta. That's a real Dallas thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, it's a bigger conversation for maybe another time. But that's what I got.
The other thing that goes with the Drake stuff is like people say his propensity to like take a record from someone. You know what I mean? Like he did that to Drum, for instance.
Right.
That was the one thing that I was bringing up was the whole
the colonizer
sweatshop.
Yeah. Or even just colonizing. Period. He really took that man record like that and really got disrespectful with it. I think Drum got jumped by fucking OVO.
Yeah.
Like I think what people's issue with Drake is more, it can be more personal stuff that you don't jive with personally, like regardless of the music or even the perceived authenticity of it. Because, you know, from a glance, okay, cool. He visited his dad a couple times.
Not a couple times. Where's
the proof in that, though? Where's the proof in that, though? How do we know?
Same thing being said, where's the proof of whatever Kendrick Lamar was doing in summer '05? We don't know. We only know it from Kendrick's mouth and the people around him telling these stories.
Kendrick's mouth, people around him, random interviews.
But you get what I'm saying? We have the same source of information about Drake as we do Kendrick, which is mainly them, which is mainly how they tell us their life story. For then us to then decide, okay, well, he's authentic, he's not.
Is there a lot of dance music in Toronto? Like that
dance hall?
No. That because Drake had like a little
the house music and
album. Like what was that about?
That sounds to me more like London, like European type stuff.
So is a lot of that going on in Toronto?
There is.
So when he gets on like Tim Westwood freestyling, my man's in them got a banzing he's sounding like a old boy from over there. It's like that's a Toronto thing?
They have it all in Toronto.
It's a breadbasket of Canada.
The way I take that,
melting pot.
But that's what I'm saying. The way I take that is like on this newest project. What's the Kendrick song he does? It's more like a Tupac tribute almost.
Reincarnation.
I was about to say it starts with R. Yeah.
Interpolation of Made Niggas by Tupac.
All I'm saying, bro, is when we like somebody, Kendrick can do a song and sound like Pac. He sounds like Pac on Reincarnation.
Yeah.
And because we're viewing him from a certain perspective, we'll say, oh, he's paying homage.
It's homage, tribute.
Drake can do a similar thing with a dance artist or a UK thing and tell you that he's a big fan of UK drill. And then depending on what perspective you're doing, if you're a Drake fan, you'll say, oh, that's dope. But if you're not into Drake, then you'll say, see, culture vulture, he's stealing that stuff.
Well,
what is the authentic Drake sound?
I'll say one thing with that, too, is like, like Kendrick, like if you do a song by a huge legacy artist like Tupac,
right?
Everybody knows who Tupac is. I think the issue is like when you're the bigger artist and you take a potential hit from like a smaller artist that song could have launched their career.
Yeah.
But now it's just gonna be your next little hit until you do it again or till your tie over or whatever.
Yeah, look what he did to The Weeknd. He took The Weeknd's whole first album.
I'm so glad you said, because I was just about to bring up The Weeknd. To me, that gets into like really arbitrary stuff, like really abstract stuff. Because I remember I said to you before, the night we were with our cousin Tawanda, we were at Chili's and we did all that. We went to Dallas. We had an argument about all this stuff, and The Weeknd came up.
Okay.
And with The Weeknd, I was saying that now in hindsight, now that The Weeknd's this global pop star, in hindsight, the way, because The Weeknd was on that Future Metro album too, dissing Drake also. It was a bottom line.
Yeah.
But The Weeknd now has spite towards Drake, right? But they both came up from Canada. Weeknd wrote a ton of stuff on Take Care.
Yeah.
And it sounds more like the truth of it is it was maybe stuff that Weeknd had for himself.
Yeah.
But then was like, all right, I'll just give you the stuff. You put it on Take Care, and now songs like The Crew and Weeknd blew up from that, you know? But all I'm saying is the arbitrary abstract part is the only thing I don't like is when people now say, see, because again, it's biting the hand that feeds you. It goes back to Kendrick with Drake taking him on that first big tour.
Why is this such a big thing for you Drake guys?
Yeah. Because
what is this whole, like, a person can't change their mind?
I won't say this for Kendrick, but I will say it for The Weeknd.
Oh, okay.
Which is...
Drake put you on, you should be grateful.
Somebody put you on. I would never say Drake put Kendrick on.
Right.
I don't think that's the case.
Nah.
Helped him at a point, yes. But I would not say that's the case. For The Weeknd, I would say that, though. Because the masses did not know who The Weeknd was before Take Care. Yeah. And now that time has passed because The Weeknd is gigantic, some people will like to look at it as if, oh, see, he took his material and stuff, but you know what, this Weeknd still made it anyways because he was going to be big. Man, it takes so much. It takes so many stars lining up in the music industry, in the acting business, and whatever.
It's a big luck factor.
It's a big luck factor.
Who you know.
So many things had to fall in place. Most of them which you don't have control over. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Who's to say the weekend could have been as big? I don't really think so. Honestly, I believe in the same thing. It's really about the stars aligning.
Yeah, it is.
You know, but to which goes back to the Kendrick beef.
Yeah,
that's a personal beef. You know, the Weeknd has a personal thing about that.
Right.
He gives love to Drake for putting them on, but also, you really took my songs that I poured my heart and love, my soul into.
Dude, nobody held a gun to the Weeknd's face to make Take Care. Like, how do you turn around and say you took his song? Nobody held a gun to your face. You get what I'm saying?
Maybe he dangled the keys over him like a baby. Hey, you want to get in the game? Give me all your shit.
The one story I do know about somebody dangling somebody and taking keys in is the Vanilla Ice and
Suge Knight story.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know.
I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, I don't know. No, but he. Vanilla Ice himself has come out on.
Oh yeah, that he hung him off the balcony.
Vanilla Ice has come out himself and said on Vlad TV that it's true.
Oh shit,
it's mostly true.
God damn.
Yeah,
okay.
But that's what I'm saying. We pick and choose, like, because that's then hip hop came off of that, So yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying about Drake and when it comes to authenticity is, I think people, the more everyday person, that's a hip hop listener that is culturally hip hop, as in we live in a black area and we do black nigga shit. We relate more to Kendrick.
Wait, I got a closing question for you. My apologies for cutting you off. I got a closing question for you because I like that we all like wrestling.
Yeah.
Would you say that mainstream hip hop is WWE fiction? Mainstream hip hop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think rap in general is.
Okay, because the reason I'm asking you that now is because we're arguing about authenticity. For a person who thrives in a very fictionalized genre.
Well, fictionalized in a way. I mean, these people are writers. So I look at these people like Langston Hughes and people like that. It's the same with hip hop. I don't think you have to necessarily just write from your perspective all the time. Like Scarface has admitted, he's like, nigga, I ain't never done no gangster shit. I just been around a lot of gangster shit.
I would say too, just because a story's not your story doesn't mean it's a fake story.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can observe a story and report it as honestly as possible, and it's still real. It's just not your story.
Yeah.
Like
it can be relatable.
Like how Eminem he's Eminem, but then he's got Marshall Mathers, he's got Slim Shady. He's got even these sub-characters within who he is.
With that, too, I was going to say, I don't think real is like the end-all, be-all. There are certain artists who you want reality from because that's kind of what they portray. But somebody like Eminem or Doom, like,
they are completely themselves.
Ghidra for like, did King Ghidra really destroy the town? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
We can get into another time, but I actually just even remembered, for example, we quoted B.I.G. a lot at the beginning of this evening.
Right.
I remember one of the funniest quotes is how Biggie on Juicy, it was all a dream. Used to read Murder
Magazine, Salt and Pepper.
Biggie talks a lot about the struggle. And his mom and then his mom came out and says, because he said, I forget what he says, something wrap lunches and couldn't get this for Christmas.
They weren't really poor.
And his mom says, I took my son to
birthdays was the worst day.
There we go. Now he should, And Biggie's mom came out and said, I worked hard so my son could go to private school. What is he talking about?
She was just like, everybody's like, you piece of garbage.
Yeah. She's like, I took my son to private school. So that's all I'm saying, bro. You're playing a character.
I don't think Biggie was missing too many meals.
But most of the biggest hip hop artists have played a character really, really, really well.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's played a drug dealer really, really well, but there's one of his best buddies, DeHaven, who's like, no, I was really the drug dealer.
Yeah.
He mainly rapped about stuff I was doing. But nobody's ever questioned Jay-Z's authenticity.
I think a lot of people have.
A lot of people have. But
not to
a lot of people have said like, you weren't moving no weight. Like I
feel
like a lot of people.
I think a lot of people were saying
not
that.
to where it's like stifled his career though, as the Dope Boy Coke rapper.
No,
he's the premier Dope Boy Coke rapper.
I of course think there are biases. People are biased. People can be biased, but I also think with this Drake situation in particular, there's just more weight to the argument that people generally view him as not a real person or just not a relatable person. Besides the allegations, besides the, do you write your raps or not? Well, that factors a lot into it as well. But people just see him as inauthentic. And that's the thing. And they do, with that kind of light on you, you are scrutinized more for shit that would just be, tap water for another person, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it just came down to that, though.
I feel like a big part of it, too, is just like a quote that I'm sure a lot of people said, but I attribute to Jim Cornette.
What?
How can I miss you if you won't leave?
Yeah.
Like Drake had this incredible run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what Kendrick does is smart. Like
Yeah.
he releases
Yeah.
like not every other
year.
like
Yeah.
he doesn't have that pressure on him to release. Like when I feel like the project's done, I'm gonna let it out. Like,
and he mainly just lets it, which is so funny that we're harping so much on the authenticity, because Kendrick mainly lets the music do the talking.
Yeah.
Drake's done a ton more. This is just
social media stuff.
interviews, social media. Drake's let us into his personal life a lot more than Kendrick.
But has he?
Well,
like,
not well. Y'all are gonna spit it into he's lying.
No.
But
I'm
he
just
really
saying,
has.
like,
I'm saying as far as like candid interviews.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Just
Okay.
simple stuff. Candid
Yeah.
just in the
interviews.
public more.
Like literally, I know
Yeah.
what Drake's house looks like. It's online. You can go look at it right now.
You can
It's
look
got
at
all
it.
those little,
The marble.
those
Yeah.
little,
It's the marble everywhere.
The house. He's
The
talking.
embassy.
got all those little dots
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then again, I think with
Yeah.
authenticity, like there's the video of Drake when he's at having dinner with his white friends and he's talking about, yeah, that's my nigger, you know?
God.
Like he's saying like things that says that he is an orbiter
Man,
of
I
the
thought
culture.
you being light skinned would have more sympathy towards Drake, man.
Hell nah, nigga.
Hell no.
Hell nah, nigga. Shit, hell nah.
Nah,
There's two different type of light skin
I'm just being
people.
silly. I'm
Nah,
just being
but
silly. Yeah.
there's a thing about, I think that's what people are saying is even just like Drake, his first project or 2 or 3 projects, he was the conscious backpack rapper. He was all up in the Fonte ass. He was all up on the Little Brother wave and the Joe Budden wave. And then he transitioned. He took off into this other thing.
Right.
People don't see that as authentic. Look at Lupe Fiasco. Even though Lasers, in my view, is trash.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Lasers, yeah.
He was still himself.
Yeah.
And there's a story of it. Like you understand like
The struggle.
This isn't what he wanted to put out. Like,
No.
I still got y'all for the next episode, because here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. We're gonna do it.
Here's what I'm gonna say for the next episode. Next time we just need to talk about J. Cole, because now in my head I'm thinking, okay, now I'm weighing different artists on where authenticity has played into how we viewed him.
Okay.
And J. Cole's authenticity was literally the nail in the coffin for him in this beef. Him authentically saying, "Wait, guys, Kendrick is actually really good. I don't want to do this fake beef where I have to."
I think at the time it was,
tear him
but
down and stuff.
but
I think a lot of people respected him for that too, though.
the thing about Cole is the only thing about Cole
Because he's
that bit him in the
most
ass.
authentic of authentic. Riding the bicycle, dreadlocks, whatever. Like he tries to be.
Here's the thing.
See, that's why I said this
Cole
whole other
spent
episode.
years edging people about how you don't want to get in a battle with him. And when the opportunity to battle came, the biggest barker went quiet.
He
Regardless
really was.
of the
He really
respectable
was.
reason he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it or whatnot, now people's perception of him has changed just because he was the biggest barker, in my opinion, at the time. But we'll talk about that later on the episode.
Yeah, this has been a thorough episode thus far.
Yeah, we could do some closing thoughts. I mean,
Yeah.
overall, you think Kendrick won the beef?
Kendrick won the beef. Yeah, I can honestly say that. Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, we're gonna keep it music. We don't have to get into allegations and none of that because I think that's just gossip.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like the hit 'em up. First, fuck your bitch. I fucked your hoe. I fucked your wife.
Yeah.
I don't really care if he fucked Faith Evans or not. Most people just
Yeah.
look at the impact of the song.
That I was about to say, to me, I mean, that's the pedophile thing. It's once Not Like Us came out, we weren't looking for the evidence of him being a pedophile. It's just the way it was delivered and everything was such a
It's a hit.
knockout punch.
It is what it is.
Which again, is always super ironic to me, because it's like, if I heard that such and such Mr. Whoever down the street was a pedophile and it was a headline in the news, I wouldn't be dancing to it. I'd be like, get him arrested.
But what is that narrative? I hear that a lot from Drake fans too. The song is anti-pedophile. We're dancing,
but y'all are electric sliding to it.
Yes,
Y'all
we're
doing the
enjoying.
electric slide.
We're enjoying saying, "Hey,
he didn't go to
that's
jail.
despicable
I could see y'all
activity."
I could see y'all electric sliding if he went to jail and like, oh, we're dancing because they finally locked that in. Because here's my
It's something positive.
Here's my closing thought. I will not say
anti-colonialism
for this episode. I will not say another sentence.
Anti-Tupac
I will not
slander.
say another sentence after this for this episode. But of course, we're gonna talk off the mic.
You gonna drop the mic?
All I need is one mic.
Kendrick is a hotep. If Kendrick hold on. If Kendrick cared so much,
Yeah, that's true.
about if he cared so much about pedophilia and justice and exposing stuff.
Nah, we're not gonna do that now.
I need a whole EP from Kendrick about P. Diddy.
Nah. See, that's moving the goalposts.
About P.
You
Diddy.
talking about moving
and
the goalposts.
And this is the same Kendrick when Spotify took R. Kelly off Spotify. Kendrick came out and protested and said, hold on, you shouldn't do that. And what do you say? What is it on the song? Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile? R. Kelly is the most certified pedophile.
Well, here's the thing. Is Kendrick saying you should not listen to Drake?
Hold on, answer my question. Is there answer these two questions? Is there a more certified pedophile than R. Kelly within the black music industry?
No.
Got it. So R. Kelly is the most certified pedophile.
Right.
You might remember this, he might
maybe
not.
Diddy now.
Did Kendrick come out and say, please don't take his music down? R. Kelly's music.
But here's the thing.
No.
Yes, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
There's an answer to that. Okay.
Because I need an R. Kelly tape. I need an R. Kelly diss song. I need a whole Diddy album, the stuff that's come out about Diddy now.
Is Kendrick saying we should take Drake's music down?
Not literally that sentence, but he
has
literally tried to bury Drake.
When did
Drake as an artist.
When did Kendrick even introduce pedophilia into the narrative? How many songs in to the dissing back and forth?
Just the last one. Right?
I think 3 songs in.
Maybe
was he keeping it hip hop at first, maybe Drake went a little low.
Hold on, because I've hung out with you enough now to know tonight. You know music better than that. Kendrick was making hints about pedophilia early on, because even in Euphoria,
very light hints.
I make music to pacify him. I'm
gonna double down on that line, but
he was making I make music to electrify him. You make music that pacify him. I'm talking about babies.
But wasn't Drake? Drake hinting at stuff?
That could be taken.
No, but
that because pacify could also pacify an adult.
It was a pedophile line, bro.
I'm saying but on the surface that you can't prove it in court is what I'm saying.
When did Drake introduce the woman beater narrative?
Kendrick knew that even if the mass audience didn't immediately understand that line, he knew that Drake would know. Oh,
that's brilliant.
This the kind of jab
but
set me up for.
That's not as mainstream as saying certified pedophile.
Yeah,
the thing about Drake is
you can make an argument that
Drake introduced the woman beater narrative, and he went straight to it.
Yeah,
I think if anything, he went low.
But come on, brother.
First, openly.
What would you rather be called? A woman beater because you once had a domestic call, the police got called in your house, or a pedophile? You'd rather be called a woman beater.
Man, they both horrible, bro. At the end of the day.
Now you're dodging my question.
No, I'm not dodging. I'd rather be called a woman beater.
Nobody want to be called a pedophile.
But just because the severity of Drake's allegations are worse than Kendrick's don't mean that Drake didn't go low. That's crazy to say somebody's fucking high school sweetheart, he beating on her.
I hate that too. Hold on. I hate that narrative too.
What?
Of Kendrick only went so low once Drake got personal, making it about family. Because remember, that's the same thing that happened to Pusha T. Pusha T said, it's only once you brought up my wife that I went this way. People have been trying to bully Drake
I'm with some bodyguards like Whitney.
Drake has been bullied most of his career.
He said his wife's name on record, man.
Yes, but that
was set off the common person.
Yuck. Not to make you call me a pedophile, you know?
Yeah, it would. If you call me a woman beater, and I know for a fact there's some weird shit floating around about you.
So do you think Pusha T went too far?
Exposing that son?
Not about Drake. Not really.
Adonis is your son.
The 40 line about multiple sclerosis, I think, but not really about Drake.
Not about the rebellion.
You know, man.
Yeah.
I think all is fair in love in hip hop, baby.
Yeah.
I think it's rap. In the beginning, if you want to keep it rap, you can rap about who's the best rapper. Or you can get extremely disrespectful.
Right.
You want to take it there?
If you want to take it there,
guys,
people will take it there.
This is really my last thought because Diddy was supposed to be my last thought. No Diddy. Kendrick had this whole thing planned out, bro. In my opinion, Kendrick had this whole thing mapped out.
You think so?
I'm gonna put out I'm just saying. Okay,
that's why I was
let me keep it simple. At the time that Kendrick knew the Like That verse was going out, and before the masses heard that, these guys knew in the studio Like That was a smash hit. Like That was a smash hit just from the beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you get Future
West Coast beat, by the way.
Then you get Future on it. Then you get Kendrick on it. Yep. They knew this thing was going to go a million miles before it came out.
But did Kendrick know that there was going to be a response?
All I'm saying is Kendrick had songs planned out.
Of course.
Before Like That even hit the radio, Kendrick had
I don't even think that's true.
I think he's that calculated.
Some of his guys have come out and said that he just got locked in for 2 weeks.
His guys keep coming out and saying that now they came out on GNX. Say, hey, just so y'all know, and I love how they keep putting this information out. Just so y'all know, he got this one beat just last night. That's how much of a goat he is.
The GNX beat, but he didn't even rap on that really.
Kendrick is like like his aura, like how he's got this like.
Oh, he's becoming
Beyonce. He's becoming Beyonce, like this god level aura of like every single thing he does is like.
Yeah, I mean,
the greatest thing since sliced bread. The greatest thing since.
I don't know about the greatest thing since, but
who feels like that about
he's
Beyonce?
More of an,
what have you?
It's because he's an enigma, just like Beyonce. She doesn't do really much interviews. She doesn't do a lot of the talking. You know,
me personally, I hate that. I hate
people are going to draw their own narratives when an artist is not as public.
I thought y'all would say that. Okay, do you find Beyonce to be authentic when you hear Beyonce speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
She sound like a Houston broad.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Now her accent has gotten a little less thick over time, but she definitely a Houston
like,
chick.
Not just when she speaks accent stuff, but I mean literally just as
what
a
she
person,
does.
do you feel like Beyonce is an authentic person?
When I see her being genuine, the rare times I see her being genuine, yeah. But no, I only see her when she's performing. Okay. She's one of them artists, you know.
Okay. All right, I'll save my other thoughts for next time.
Okay.
I feel like that was a very insightful discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed talking to you about that. We can get into some more off mic, but this has been the first inaugural pilot, surprisingly long episode of Barred Up. I think that's going to be the name we might go with. So, yeah. Until next time, this is Kurt, my boy E.
Yep, appreciate y'all.
Cage.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see y'all next time. We'll have a theme song next time.
Goodbye.